Have you ever wondered if it's possible to succeed in life and still miss the real purpose of life? Jesus once told a story about a man who believed he had finally made it. His land produced an incredible harvest, his barns were full, and his future looked completely secure. But what happened next reveals a dangerous mindset that still traps many successful people today. It's something we might call the arrival syndrome. And by the end of this video, you may realize this warning from Jesus applies to far more people than we think. Gospel of Luke chapter 12, verse 16 to 21, Jesus told a powerful parable. He said there was a rich man whose land produced an abundant harvest. It was a season of incredible prosperity. His fields produced more crops than he had ever seen before. So much, in fact, that his barns were not large enough to store everything. Now at first, this sounds like a blessing, and in many ways, it was. But what happened next revealed something deeper about this man's heart. Instead of thanking God, instead of asking how he could help others, instead of considering the bigger purpose of his blessing, he began having a conversation with himself. He said, "What shall I do? I have no place to store my crops." Then he came up with a plan. "This is what I will do. I will tear down my barns and build bigger ones, and there I will store all my grain and my goods." But the most revealing part came next. He said to himself, "Soul, you have plenty of grain laid up for many years. Take life easy, eat, drink, and be merry." In other words, he was saying, "I've worked hard. I'm financially secure. My future is guaranteed. I can finally relax." In his mind, he had arrived. Now, interestingly, Jesus never criticizes the man for being successful. The problem was not the harvest. The problem was the man's perspective. Notice something about his thinking. Throughout the story, he keeps saying, "My crops, my barns, my grain, my goods." His life had become centered entirely around himself. God was absent from his thinking. Other people were absent from his thinking. Purpose was absent from his thinking. His success had created the illusion that he was self-sufficient or self-made. Then suddenly, the story takes a dramatic turn. God speaks, and then comes a response no one was expecting. "You fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you." In one moment, everything changes. All the plans, all the storage, all the wealth. None of it mattered anymore. The man who thought he had many years ahead suddenly had no more time. And Jesus ends the story with this powerful warning. This is how it will be for whoever stores up things for themselves but is not rich toward God. This story reveals something that affects many people today. Arrival syndrome. Arrival syndrome is the belief that I've achieved enough. I've reached the top. I don't need anything else. For some people, it happens when they become wealthy. For others, it happens when they become famous. For some, it happens after they achieve career success, academic success, or social status. They begin to feel, "I'm secure now. I'm in control. I've arrived." But the danger is that success can create spiritual blindness. It can make us forget that life itself is fragile. It can make us forget that everything we have ultimately comes from God. And it can make us focus on temporary things instead of eternal things. Our world constantly tells us that the goal of life is success. We are encouraged to chase money, influence followers, recognition achievements. And again, none of these things are wrong by themselves, but they become dangerous when they replace our relationship with God. The rich man believed his bigger barns meant a bigger future, but he forgot something very important. Money cannot guarantee tomorrow. Success cannot secure eternity. Only God can. Jesus did not tell this story simply to warn us about wealth. He told it to make us ask a deeper question. What does it mean to be rich toward God? Being rich toward God means prioritizing your relationship with Him, using your blessings to help others, living with eternity in mind. Recognizing that everything we have is ultimately a gift from God. It means understanding that the goal of life is not simply to accumulate things, but to live a life that reflects God's purpose. So before we say, "I've made it," we should pause and ask ourselves some honest questions. Am I growing spiritually? Am I becoming more like Christ? Am I using my blessings to serve others? Am I building my life around temporary success or eternal purpose? Because it is possible to gain everything the world offers and still lose what matters most. Jesus ends this teaching with a powerful contrast. You can have full barns, but still have an empty life. True security does not come from what we store. True security comes from who we trust. So remember this: a full barn does not mean a full life. Only God can truly fill a life with purpose, meaning, and eternal value. And if this message challenged or encouraged you today, share it with someone who might need to hear it. Because sometimes the greatest danger in life is not failure. It is believing we have already arrived.
If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It helps us keep sharing content that blesses lives. Thanks for watching.